The trafficking is the exploitation of these victims, usually for the sex slave trade, and they're reused over and over and over. So in the drug trade, you sell a kilo of cocaine, you make this incredible profit, and once it's sold, you got to go get back and you got to go get another kilo of cocaine. Well, the victim keeps on giving. And when you have 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 50 victims seeing an average of 20 to 30 Johns a day at let's go conservative here, at $50 each, you start doing the math and that starts adding up very quickly. And that's just one victim. And so these organizations have learned, by the way, the cartels and the human traffickers and human smugglers were separate. They were different entities. Not anymore. The cartels have moved in and control all of it now. So even when I investigated, there was a human smuggler, there was a human trafficker. They really didn't dabble with the cartels. Well, now it's the cartel owns all that because they realize the amount of money that these humans are paying. And there's a video that I shot in El Paso. It's just a reminder of the amounts of people here. A lot of single adult males. So we talk about the children and we talk about the family units, but the majority, the highest percentage, and I forget the percentage, forgive me, but it's something like 70% of the people that are coming are single adult males. And you can see it by these videos that I myself shot. The majority of the people are coming are single adult males that require there's a lot of reasons here. You got health reasons. You have crime reasons, you have shelter, you have all these problems. We had when I was there's an outbreak of tuberculosis. There was an outbreak of measles. There was an outbreak of lice. And all of these health issues are showing up in small communities in Kentucky, North Carolina, and all around the nation. And well, your child goes to that school, and all of a sudden they'll put a person next to your child. And for some reason now, in a lot of communities, they will, for some reason, prioritize the undocumented person over the U.S. citizen. We've seen this happen in New York. It's happened in El Paso. They will kick out the Americans to make room for them. But I'm not against immigration. I'm against illegal immigration. And this is the part where we need to establish some law and order here. The individuals now, and I'm going to use Venezuela as a perfect example. Venezuela, I saw the other day.
Where is this we're looking at?
El Paso, Texas, downtown. Mostly Venezuelans, Central Americans, Colombians, South Americans.
You're saying a lot of these paid a fee.
Oh, they all did.
To be smuggled.
They all did. 100%.
And it doesn't matter whether they turned themselves into a border agent or they were a getaway. They paid the money to get to the border.
They gave the money to come in.
And how much are they paying to get to the border?
Right now, the Mexican, or we'll call it OTM, Central American, about $8,500. Mm-hmm. Then you talk about Chinese nationals, you're in the tens of thousands. Africans, tens of thousands. Eastern Europeans, tens of thousands. The SIAs, special interest aliens, coming from special interest countries, which is something that I investigated. Right before I got shot, I was doing a big Afghan smuggling, taking down an Afghan smuggling organization using Mexico. You see, you and I know this, and so do the cartels, and so do the criminal organizations, and so do the terrorists. They know that being in Mexico is as good as being in the U.S.
Yeah.
And so they just need to get to Mexico.
You just have to walk across the river, turn yourself in.
That's it. And so we don't know the criminal history of this person. We don't know the intention or the agenda that they have, because there's a questionnaire out there, Dr. Phil, of a border agent. There's hundreds of questions that could and should be asked that are not being asked. And a lot of questions are very, very straightforward. Are you a member of any kind of, political group? Are you literally a member of a terrorist organization? All these types of questions that are not being asked.
Well, of course, they're not going to tell the truth.
They're not, because they're being processed so quickly. even when, because I talk to border agents all the time, even when the agent suspects, they have this individual in front of them. I'll give you an example in El Paso. There's this guy all tatted up. His eyes were tattooed. His pupils were black. And the border agent was telling me, like, I don't want to admit this guy, even though he put his fingerprints down and he was negative. He was clear of any criminal history in our databases, but he just didn't look right.
Yeah.
But he
I
didn't
didn't
have,
know you could tattoo your
he can't. He
your
says he
eyeballs.
looks scary. I need to make some phone calls to these consulates. I need to make, other database. Well, that takes a lot of time. No, move them through. Had to admit them. These individuals are showing up and proving what myself, Jason Jones, Derek Moss, what we've been saying for years is that a lot of them are committing crimes because they have been released from prisons in Venezuela. They're coming with criminal histories. They're beating up police officers. They're killing our Americans. They're raping our kids. They're doing all these horrific things, and it doesn't surprise us. I'm the first one to tell you, not everybody that comes to this country commits additional crimes, but we have a high percentage of them that do. Venezuela, by the way, has the lowest murder rate ever right now. What does that tell you?
Yeah, all the murderers are gone.
We're here.
Yeah. So is it true that they're emptying prisons? I mean, is this
not
Cuba all over again?
This is not a hearsay. There was a memo by DHS last year admitting that, in fact, they knew that Venezuela's government was emptying their prison and rehabilitation centers or drug centers, releasing them on purpose because they knew with instructions to make, if you were going to get out, you're going to make your way to the U.S. That is not, we're not making that up. That's true. It was reported on, and DHS admitted that was happening. And in fact, it has. El Tren de Aragua is heavily present in our country now.
Okay, so you're telling me that DHS has acknowledged that Venezuela, for example, is emptying their prisons and their rehabilitation centers with the understanding you get out if you leave here and go to the United States.
Yes.
And DHS has, in writing, said, we know that's happening. We know they're coming here. We're processing them in and have no idea where they are.
Correct.
How many people are we talking about?
Millions. And just Venezuela alone.
We're talking about in the last 2 or 3 years, we've had estimated how many people have come across the border.
My estimation, the official number, I think, is about 10 million.
Yeah, it's about 10, 11 million. Yeah, that's the official.
But my personal opinion, I think we're about 15 to 18 million.
Okay. And you're saying several million of those have come from Venezuela?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, a lot from Venezuela. I mean, the majority, a lot of them came from Venezuela. Now they're coming from every single part of the world. Africa, New Guinea, Mauritanian, is that the way you say that one? Middle East, China, India, Syria, Yemen, Russia, you name the country, they are coming. And this is the part that a lot of people don't understand, that don't report, because a lot of these individuals that are coming from these special interest countries, that DHS labels them SIAs, like I said before, because they might be, we don't know, but they come from countries that sponsor terrorism. So they would require additional screening. But we already caught over 500 of those on the terror watch list that we actually caught coming in through Arizona or Texas. Can you imagine how many we've actually missed that actually their whole purpose of coming into the United States is possibly to do us harm?